今日そのパレスチナからですね、西岸出身のジョマーナさん、来ていただいていますので、ジョマーナさんから電気つけていただけますか。
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for coming today. It's heartbreaking that after 75 years of occupation, ethnic cleansing, and oppression of Palestinians, unfortunately, we still have a need to stand up in front of the world and prove that we are victims, that we are not terrorists, and we did not invade others. We did not terrify them. We are the victims. Although it's very simple to realize that, but for millions and maybe billions in the world, this is not yet seen and acknowledged. So thank you, Mary Sensei, for introducing everything and for trying to deliver the truth to the world. I think for us Palestinians, like for me, I'm living the saddest days of my life to scroll down the videos on my phone every day and see a genocide of my people in my country, and the world is silent. I'm not surprised by what Israel is doing. I'm Palestinian who lived the Intifada, who was born, I'm from the West Bank. I was born in Jerusalem, and of course I'm denied the right to go to Jerusalem now. I lived in the West Bank before I came to Japan 10 years ago. So I lived under the military occupation my entire life. And every day on my way to the university, or on my way to my grandfather's house, I used to be looked at by the soldiers like this. This is how is it to live under occupation. To go through checkpoints, the way to university, which takes just 20 minutes by car, and it took me 2 hours to go and be dehumanized every single day. And as a child, to be looked at like this, with a weapon in front of my face, asking me, what's your name? Why are you coming here? For no reason, just because I was born in Palestine, and my family is Palestinian. So this is the childhood that I lived. And yeah, again, it's horrifying that we still need to prove that we are the victims. This is not a war against Hamas, and I want to confirm this message again and again and again. In West Bank, we don't have Hamas. But yesterday, in one night, 13 Palestinians were kids in my city, in the West Bank. They don't have weapons. They are just Palestinians who are fighting for their freedom. The most human and fundamental, the most basic and fundamental human right. 13 Palestinians were killed. We are living with occupation, ethnic cleansing in Jerusalem, Hebron, south of the West Bank. We are, the illegal settlements, illegal under the international law, are continuing to expand and getting annexed year by the other. So we don't have Hamas, but we still live this reality. And as Okamari Sensei showed, in Gaza itself, in 2018, there were peaceful, 100% peaceful, unarmed protests, which are called the Great March protests for the right of return for the refugees in Gaza. 70% of people in Gaza are refugees. And they were peacefully asking for their right of return, which is recognized and acknowledged by the United Nations. 300 Palestinians were shot while peacefully protesting. So it's not about Hamas. It's every single Palestinian seeking freedom is a target for Israel. And especially now, more than ever, this is a call for all human beings, not just for the Palestinians, to stand against this genocide in Gaza, to stand for the freedom of Palestinians, to hold Israel accountable. Israel is not above the law. Israel should not be above the law. Israel has continuously for 75 years committed unstoppable war crimes and violated all human rights. We shouldn't let Israel be above the law. Our governments, unfortunately, all of us are fascist, extremist, right-wing now, and almost all governments are supporting Israel, including the Japanese government, unfortunately. But we people are stronger than governments. We have the power to stand up, to speak out, to change, to correct the lies and the misinformation that are flooding the news now. We have the power to boycott every single business that supports colonialism and apartheid in Palestine. We can do something. Nelson Mandela said that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of Palestinians. And especially now, more than any single day before, we shouldn't allow ourselves, and we shouldn't accept to be, scrolling down our phones, seeing a genocide happening, and just then logging out our phones and staying silent. If we allow this to happen, humanity is dead. We don't have humanity in our hearts. And Martin Luther King also said, it's one of my favorite quotes, that injustice anywhere threatens justice everywhere. So if this genocide continues to take place in Gaza, we will witness more and more genocides in any other place in the world. So thank you for trying to understand what's happening. One of the most important points to take out from today's lecture is that, unfortunately, the media is flooded with misinformation. They said that Hamas has beheaded 40 Israeli babies, and then Israel itself retracted the claims. The White House retracted the claims. They said that Hamas raped women, and then they said, oh, we don't have any proof. They bombed the hospital. And they admitted that on Twitter. The digital spokesman of Israel himself admitted that. And then they deleted the tweet, and they said Hamas bombed the hospital by mistake. We shouldn't allow this amount of lies to be normal. So thank you so much for trying your best to understand what's happening, to listen to the truth, and please don't let the truth stop here. Please spread, do your part, correct whatever lies you see on the media. Thank you so much.
今のジョバンナさんのメッセージ、英語の力強い、これ後で何らかの形で日本語に訳したものを分かるようにしたいと思います。من غزة من أي حتة في غزة؟でアンハールさん、ガザ出身の方です。ガザ中部出身の方です。
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Ms. I'm from Gaza. All my family and my husband family in Gaza. Actually, my English language is not professional, so I should read from the paper.
So, I will try. 一応僕が簡単に日本語に訳しているので、都度日本語でちょっと話します。
あ、福ちゃん抱いてた方が大丈夫。
まだ3月、マーチ、7 months。まだ7ヶ月の赤ちゃんです。
I'm reading my letter now, and there is no word to describe the state of sadness, anxiety, stress inside me.
今聞こえてますか？言葉にできないような悲しみとかストレスを手紙にしてきたので皆さんに伝えたいと思います。
The Palestinians have suffered miscarriage, displacement, killing, siege, and imprisonment for many years at the hand of Israelis in their life.
パレスチナ人たちの生活は長年のイスラエルの手によって、虐殺、強制移動、殺戮、包囲、そして監獄状態というような苦しみに置かれてきました。
But what suffered in the previous day is equivalent to a century of suffering. More than 4,000 was killed, includes 1,500 of children, and there are, until now, there are 16,000 wounded without medication, without medical care, without a place where they can sleep. Most of them is children, which means that the number of dead will duplicate it.
長年の苦しみもあったんですけども、本当にこの10日間の、戦争っていうのはこれまでの100年の苦しみに匹敵するぐらいのものになっています。現在4000人以上が殺され、その中には1500人の子どもと1万6000人の薬も治療も受けられない、寝る場所もない負傷者がいます。で、その多くは子どもです。で、おそらく今後死者の数は倍になっていくでしょう。
Shall I describe? Shall I describe? Shall I describe the devastation to you? They destroyed my university and all street where I grew up and walk.
壊滅的な今の状況について話します。彼ら、イスラエルは私の卒業した大学、イスラミック大学っていうところを卒業してるんですけども、イスラミック大学、生まれ育った場所、よく歩いた、通り道を破壊しました。
They erased all memory of homeland, house, marketing, houses, street, bank, bakers, institutes, and towers.
彼らは私の思い出に残っている故郷の家、市場、道、銀行、パン屋、いろいろな施設を破壊しました。
Shall I describe the death scales to you? We expect to die at any moment. We live in terror, destruction, and devastation all the time. The sound of death calls for help, screams, and terror are everywhere.
死ぬということについて話します。私たちは本当に今数分後には死ぬかもしれません。パレスチナ人たちは今恐怖、破壊、荒廃した中に生きています。死の音、叫ぶ声とか、恐怖ってものが本当にすぐそこにあります。
Every street smell of death and explosions. In one moment, we lose hundreds of people, most of them child. We find bodies of children tons apart, and we can't recognize them.
今、道はどこも死と爆発の匂いに満ちています。で、1分後には本当に数百人の死者を出すかもしれません。本当に体が引き裂かれて身元不明の子供の遺体というのも見つかっています。
There are children no more than 1 year old who lose their entire family and were left alone with no care for them, feed for them, or breastfeeding for them. There are children wounded in the hospital street alone, and fetus that were burned, killed, and injured while they were in the mother's pills.
家族がみんな亡くなってしまって、本当に一人だけになった1歳未満の赤ちゃんが、 食べ物も母乳もない中でただ残されている現状があります。で彼女自身専門が医学なんですけども、本当になんか病院についてはすごい詳しくて、傷ついた子供が本当に病院の前で一人でいることだったりとか、母親のお腹の中で殺されてしまった赤ちゃんっていうのも見かけます。
Due to the lack of medical tools and lack of hospital capacity, surgeries and first aid are performed on the ground without anesthesia. And now there's 7 or maybe at that moment the number of hospitals out of service increased. Gaza didn't have there's one big hospital in Gaza, and the other is just small. The service is not too much. Even of that, they are all out of service at this moment.
今はガザの病院では医療器具だったり、病床、手術道具がすごい不足していて、本当に応急処置っていうのが地面で行われています。で今、この事態においても本当にもともとガザには大きい病院が1個しかないんですけども、それがどんどんアウト・オブ・サービスですね、使えないようになっていっています。
Despite this killing, destruction, and devastation, sewage was imposed on us. There is no water, there is no electricity, there is no food. There is no place safe or any means of communication. We live in the large prison, in the most density population area in the entire world.
水も電気もない中で本当に安全な場所とか家族とコミュニケーション今離れて住んでいるのでコミュニケーション取る場所も家族に今ない状況です。今私たちは世界で一番人口密度が高い監獄に閉じ込められています。
The Israeli Defense Force bombed hospital containing dozens of patients and hundreds of civilians who found shelter in this hospital. Countered to take refuge for the killing and bombing, but they were all killed. The number can't be counted, as their bodies were torn into pieces, but the initial number may be more than 500.
イスラエル国防軍は、本当に今病院、皆さんご存知の通りだと思うんですけど病院を破壊しました。その中には本当に何十人もの患者、何百人もの市民がいました。で本当に彼らは病院の庭先にあるそのシェルターのようなところに逃げようとしているところで殺されているっていうのを発見されています。でその正確な数っていうのは数えられないんですけども、その理由がやっぱりその爆発で引き裂かれた体で身元不明っていうのが多い中で、速報では500人以上というふうに出ています。
Shall I tell you about me? I live here in Japan with my baby husband. My baby who under 1 year old. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't take care of my baby. I watch the news all the time. I feel like I will lose my family at any time. I know, I now don't know whether they are alive or dead. Actually, I didn't know if my family still alive or not. I didn't know how many of my friends I lose. I didn't know. There is no communication. There is no news. I can't know.
私自身についてハンハルさん自身について話します。今私は日本に、夫と、子供と暮らしているんですけども、今本当に寝ることも食べることも子供をあやすこともできません。ニュースをずっと見ていて家族をいつ失ってしまうかというふうな気持ちでずっと不安です。で今自分の友達や家族が生きているのか死んでいるのかさえニュースでも、スマホでも何でも情報が入ってこない状態です。
Perhaps my brother is now. Actually, I have 6 sisters. Most of them married. They have a baby. Most of them under 3 years. I didn't know. Maybe my brother now is dead, body under our destroyed house. Perhaps my sister is wounded alone, sleeping on the ground. and screaming in pain without treatment.
私には兄弟がたくさんいて6人の姉と How many brothers? 3人の兄弟がいるんですけども、みんな結婚していて、もしかしたら今自分の兄が破壊された家の下敷きになっているかもしれない、もしかしたら私の姉が負傷して痛みを叫びながら病院の床に横になっているかもしれないっていうふうにずっと思っています。
I wondered if they find water or food. They prevent everything: water, food, electricity, like a prison. Are they screaming now out of fear? Are they crying? I think about this every moment. I feel like I'm slowly dying.
彼らに十分な水と食べ物が普段からあれば、彼らは、恐怖から叫ぶでしょうか、彼らは泣くでしょうか。今最近私は毎分自分が死に近づいていっているような感覚に陥っています。
I received the last news about my family from one of the relevant, saying that they have no water, no food, the children of my sister have a fever, and there is no hospital or no medicine. That's the last news for a few days.
数日前に家族から連絡が来た、家族というか親戚から連絡が来たんですけども、その連絡によると、今自分の家族が本当に食べ物も水もない状態で、本当に子供は高熱を出していて、病院も薬もないという状況ということでした。
There is no number of wounded that need treatment. There is 100 of families, died families. Maybe some of them still alive. Maybe they will die after day or 2 or 3 days. They still under the destroyed home. There's a families there's nobody know what happened for them. Some of relevance of my husband. We know that they are killed, and their dead body under their destroyed house just after 3 days. Even the people in Gaza, they didn't know anything about themselves. They didn't know. There's no contact. There's no electricity. There's no internet.
今ガザの中で、手当てとか治療を必要としていた数知れんずなんですけども、自分の家族あるいは彼女の夫の家族のケースでも、ガザの中にいても自分の親戚や家族が今どういう状況なのかっていうのが連絡取れない、電気もないという状況が続いています。
There is 100 of children who have lost a part of their body, legs, hand, eyes. Some of them may be died at any moment due to the lack of treatment and the hospital. And because of the power outage in the hospital, there's no electricity, so 100 of people will die at any moment because there is no electricity in the hospital.
本当に今回の爆発、これまでもなんですけども、手や足を失った子どもたち、目を失った子どもたちのはたくさんいます。で、今病院が燃料不足で医療の措置を受けられずに亡くなる人もいます。で、本当に何百人がいつ亡くなってもおかしくないという状況にあります。
Actually, when I write this letter before 2 hours, but when I in the way, I heard about 100 people who's killed. Every hour there is killed people. Every hour.
今ここに来る道のりでも何百人が亡くなったっていう速報を私自身見ました。今毎時間そういうニュースが流れてきます。
There is no word to sufficient for the magnitude of the tragedy, as the reality is unimaginable. With a broken and torn heart, I address the human being and conscience within you to stop this killing and blood and allow the entry of medicine, water, food. Our children are not wild animals. As Biden said, they are just children. Do you understand?
今このガザの惨状っていうひどさは私が想像に及ばないほどで言葉になりません。人間というものの良心にこの殺戮と流血をやめて、水と食べ物と薬がまずはガザに入る許可が下りることを祈っています。で、バイデンが言ったように、彼らはただの子供たちです。野生生物ではありません。
In fact, they close our mouths from speaking. They surrounded us wherever we are because they don't want anyone to know the truth. And they see the unlineness of their crimes. When we published a post on Facebook exposing their crimes, they close our page and delete our post. They prevent foreigners press from entering Gaza. They shut down the internet so that we don't communicate with anyone abroad, so we didn't know the fact. What happened? Even the local press can't publish the fact. They spread lies about us and tell the world that we killed their children, without any evidence. While we have thousands of videos, evidence and live broadcast that prove their crimes. If they were honest and right, they didn't do that, right?
今実のことを言うと、イスラエルは私パレスチナ人たちの口を塞いでいます。どういうふうにかというと、Facebook で真実を投稿してもそれを全部今すぐ消されてしまいます。で、ガザに外国の報道機関が入ることをイスラエルは恐れていて、地元の報道機関でさえ本当のことを今言えない状況です。で、パレスチナ人たちはイスラエルの犯罪の証拠となるようなビデオとかをたくさん持っているのに、イスラエルは何の証拠もなくパレスチナ人たちが子供を殺しているという報道をします。もし彼らが正しいならそんなごまかすようなことはしないはずです。
Sorry, I should go. Thank you for listening for me. I hope my message will arrive to your heart, everyone. Sorry, I should go. Sorry.
以上になります。
通訳は同志社大学の、西藤育さんでした。はい、ありがとうございます。
はい、当初は意見交換とかできればなと思っておりましたが、なんせ岡さんが電話をした時、私今本当に喋りたいのとおっしゃってて、ノンストップで伝えてくださったと思います。で、何を喋りたかったかというと、じゃあ私たちは何をすべきかということを実は話したかったんですが、残念ながらもうこの会場を出ていかなきゃいけない時間になってきておりますので、一つお伝えしておきます。24日火曜日、午後6時から18時、三条河原町のアーケード前でスタンディングをやりたいと思っています。本当はデモをやりたかったんですけども、どうやろうかなと、許可が下りる前に時間もかかるというので、まずスタンディングをスタートにしました。それと今こちらの会場では皆さん受付していただきました。地下の会場の皆さん見ていただいてますかね。受付表に お名前、連絡先、できればアドレス書いていただいて、これからの連絡がいるかいらないかのところをしっかりチェックをしていただきたいというふうに思います。で、連絡していいよっていう方には今後どうするかということも含めてご連絡させていただきたいと思いますし、先ほど岡さんがおっしゃってた字幕付きがいるならばというのは、もし間に合えばそれもお伝えできると思いますので、今おっしゃってたように今までがどうだったのかということをしっかりと学んだと思います。今がどうなのかも伝えていただきました。断片的にはメディアが伝えますけども、それは断片であってコントロールされたニュースだということを踏まえた上で何をしていったらいいのかをこれから考えて、少しでもここにあります、最後ありましたね、地獄とは何か、知らん顔をすることところが地獄だと、そうならないように何かできることを皆さんと一緒に考えていきたいと思います。今日はどうもありがとうございました。24日18時から三条河原町アーケード前でスタンディングを行う予定にしております。許可はいりませんのでどんどんできると思いますのでよろしくお願いいたします。
皆さん長時間にわたりどうもありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。気をつけてお帰りください。